can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good...
Are you watching Firstpost? I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, another defeat for Chennai has left them reeling in the bottom spot at the Indian Premier League. But today we look at the love-hate relationship that fans are beginning to have with the franchise that is only steeped in glory. Is it time to finally take that big, dreaded call? England, meanwhile, is set to restart their rebuilding phase after a disastrous last few years that has called for a rebranding of their image and a shift in attitude. All of that which has come under flak. Not just a change in their results. Coach Brendan McCullum is now playing hardball, says the England cricket team needs to be smart with their comments and not just their cricket. And is Cristiano Ronaldo going to say goodbye to Saudi Arabia? Reports emerge of link-ups to clubs in Brazil with his quest for a FIFA crown. Is a final big move on the cards for this legendary footballer? All of that heading your way. But first, a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, the venue for the Indian Premier League finale has been confirmed. Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium will host the match on the 3rd of June. The city will also host the second qualifier, which is on the 1st. Meanwhile, Chandigarh's new PCA stadiums will host two matches, the qualifier 1 and the eliminator. Moving to football, Manchester City inched closer to sealing Champions League spot for next year. Pep Guardiola's side beat Bournemouth 3-1. This was also the last home game of City legend Kevin De Bruyne. With the win, Man City moved to third spot with 68 points. They need one more win to confirm their berth for Europe. In tennis, Novak Djokovic has teamed up with longtime friend and former doubles partner Dusan Bemic for the Geneva Open and the upcoming French Open. This after the former world number one parted ways with his coach Andy Murray after a 6-month-long dry spell. The Serb said he is not looking to sign up a long-term coach for now and is happy with this current setup. And summing it up with news from NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder beat Minnesota Timberwolves in the opening match of the Western Conference Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 31 points as City Thunder eased past Timberwolves by 114 to 84 points. The two will face again on 23rd of May in game number 2. The Indian Premier League, or the IPL, is wrapping up its group stage. 3 playoff contenders are now confirmed: Gujarat, Bengaluru and Punjab. 2 teams are in contention for that 4th spot, which is Delhi and Mumbai. And 5 teams have been knocked out: Lucknow, Rajasthan, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and the most successful franchise in this league's history, Chennai Super Kings. But more than just finishing in the bottom half of the table, what Chennai is grappling with is the love-hate relationship they now share with their most loyal fan base, one of the most vibrant fan bases in the league. The otherwise admired, hailed and respected CSK setup has found itself facing criticism from a large section of its fans. Criticism directed to not just the team, but to the most integral part of their legacy, MS Dhoni. Yes, the Yellow Brigade still turns up in massive numbers. We keep seeing that at every stadium. But the disappointment and anguish, well, that's not too far behind. It all paints a picture of deeply emotional, fraught and confused two-sided relationship between the franchise and its fans. Fans who've stuck through this team, especially in most of its highs than the lows. Since the inception of the IPL in 2008, one team has consistently dominated the league, Chennai Super Kings. Yes, Mumbai and Kolkata have multiple titles too, but Chennai's consistency, their brand of cricket led by their skipper of so far and so long, have set them apart all these years. They've gone deep into the tournament season after season, and the architect of that sustained formula for success, former India captain MS Dhoni. For years, players have come and gone, but the core has remained. Dhoni and head coach Stephen Fleming. Together, they built a blueprint, a culture, a code, a kind of unspoken oath that every incoming player has followed and has learned to embrace. And it worked. 5 IPL titles, one of them coming just 2 years ago. And because Dhoni now appears only during the Indian summer, the country waits for his return like it's a festival. That's why, despite getting knocked out of the playoffs early this season itself, fans still turned up to watch him. Yesterday's match against Rajasthan was another perfect example of that. A neutral venue in India's capital city of New Delhi that hosted these two teams, but it looked like a home game for Chennai. A sea of yellow completely overpowered Rajasthan's pink and blue. Even the Royals' social media had a bit of fun with that. Now, it isn't just the fans. When Dhoni steps onto the field, youngsters, opposition players, rivals, everyone makes a beeline to him. Take Vaibhav Suryavanshi, for instance, the young Rajasthan player who, by the way, was the star of the match last night, touched Dhoni's feet after the game. While that's the heartwarming side of the CSK campaign and of MS Dhoni's aura, it's turned an ugly chapter this year. Rajasthan's win last night meant Chennai tasted their 10th defeat in 13 games, equaling their worst ever season in this league. It takes fans back to the nightmare of 2022, the only other time Chennai lost 10 matches in a season. Even in 2020, a horrid year that as well, when they lost 8 games, they were still competitive. And in 2012, despite 7 defeats, they reached the final, losing to Kolkata eventually. But now, fans are demanding a change. Former players and cricket pundits, some of whom have played under Dhoni in the past, have been expressing their concerns as well for a club that now seems to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. The most pointed and harsh criticism came from Matthew Hayden, again someone who's been a pillar of the CSK franchise in its earlier years. He highlighted CSK's reluctance to change. Now, sure, that has been their strength over the last many years, and rightfully so, because after a terrible 2022, they still came back to win in 2023 with very little changes. But can that model really continue to work? We understand Dhoni is the heart, the soul, the breathing soul of that franchise. But how long can Chennai keep leaning on one single man, especially when there's still uncertainty about his future?
I don't care how old the players are, the experience has served us really well over the past years that we have had. It hasn't worked out quite well for us this year. I assume it could be a bit of form, it could be strategy, it could be a number of things that just don't quite work out.
And that there is the problem, because when MSD does eventually hang up his boots, who takes over? How does this transition really work? Yes, Ruturaj Gaikwad is the current captain, but do they have a leader really with that aura? A bit of a core that kind of can evolve, the belief system, the charisma to carry this team, the legacy forward to its next phase. Because let's be real, even the most loyal fans want results. They're still turning up to see Dhoni during CSK's worst season, but will they show up in just as many numbers and as that sort of a crowd when Dhoni exits? Will Chennai need, what Chennai needs right now is to walk with change, to accept that with changing times comes the need for a change in approach. They need to have a change in their ranks, because if they do not, then this love-hate relationship with fans could turn all one-sided. England men's cricket team starts their rebuilding phase from tomorrow when the series against Zimbabwe kicks off, the precursor to the all-important bilateral against West Indies that will herald the beginning of a new era in England cricket under the captaincy of Harry Brook. But for all practical reasons and as far as the optics go, the Test series against Zimbabwe is the litmus test, especially when their head coach for all formats, Brendan McCullum, has started talking the talk. The man who introduced baseball to the world, a tactic that actually turned things around for England back then, has started playing hardball now. The overarching theme of McCullum's explosive press conference was that England needed to wake up, show up and be humble in their approach. England cricket is going through a phase, a very tough one that they did not expect to encounter this soon, especially when you still have Ben Stokes, who's leading the Test side, Joe Root at his best, Jos Buttler has hit his stride as a batter in the Indian Premier League. But despite all of that, England cricket is staring down the barrel. Their results have been poor, not just in ICC events, but across bilaterals too. Over the last 1 year, England men's cricket team have lost more matches than they've won. They've managed to lose 24 out of 48 games across all formats. Let's break that down for you. Their Test form has been decent with wins over West Indies and Sri Lanka, but they slumped after that, losing the series to Pakistan. That was humbling. Their T20 form has been mixed. The T20 World Cup, their best run in the shorter format, ended in a semi-final loss to India. They won the series against West Indies but crumbled to India. Over in the one-dayers, they lost the series to Australia, to West Indies, and then, of course, the rout in India, all leading to them crashing out of the Champions Trophy. And commentators all around sharpened their knives out, but more than the results, though that's appalling as it is, almost everyone raised questions over the attitude of the squad. Leading to a massive overhaul with Jos Buttler stepping down. Harry Brook decided to let go of his lucrative IPL contract as the responsibility of captaincy in the white ball formats came onto him. Again, a youngster who's looking to try and course correct England in the shorter formats with a T20 World Cup also coming up. And you know the top bosses mean serious business when Brendan McCullum starts talking tough.
We've just got to be a bit smarter with some of our comments. What we say in that dressing room is often very different to what you expect to come out in a public forum. Smart enough to be able to make sure that we articulate things when we get the opportunity so that we don't lose touch with the English people.
Many of the England cricketers have been rather brash and have come off sounding arrogant in press conferences, leading many to think that more than performances on the field, their attitude needed a massive turnaround. Whether it was Ben Duckett's repeated faux pas in press conferences, one of them, of course, saying that losing to India was unimportant, inconsequential, that what mattered most for them as an outfit was winning the Champions Trophy. Well, they were far from that. McCullum drives home the point further when saying this England squad needed to reconnect with their fans and bring back some humility on the cricket ground.
The ability these guys have to be able to play on the biggest stage, under the brightest lights, and the pressure that takes is one thing. But also the ability to be humble and show some humility and not feel out of touch with the general population is something I'd like to see us improve on.
The same McCullum who introduced the world to a fearless brand of cricket, that's what England stood for a while back, is calling the bunch to retrospect on just how they carried themselves, not just on the cricket field but outside too. There has to be a visible change in not just the results column but also their demeanour as athletes who represent their country, who travel and play cricket and are ambassadors. Maybe he feels that many youngsters in the ranks adopted this fearless, brash brand of cricket and somehow also made it a part of their own personality, which could be alienating and can come off as misplaced sense of overconfidence. Can this England side shake off their terrible year and re-energize their cricket again? Cristiano Ronaldo's professional football journey has now spanned over 2 decades. The 17-year-old who first stepped onto the field with Sporting is now nearing the twilight of his career. But in the global transfer market, he remains one of the biggest buzzwords, especially with the first of its kind FIFA Club World Cup around the corner, scheduled to kick off next month. With Lionel Messi's Inter Miami already confirmed as one of the participants, Ronaldo is expected to make a move to a club that will feature in the mega event. FIFA is set to host the first ever 32-team Club World Cup in the United States. All of Europe's elite clubs will be there, but the buzz, it's still very much around Messi currently, taking center stage in America once more. However, recent developments suggest that his longtime rival Cristiano Ronaldo could also join the party. For months, Ronaldo has been linked with a move away from Saudi Arabia. His contract with Al Nassr ends next month, and as of now, he hasn't signed an extension. Reports even suggest Al Nassr offered him part ownership of the club. But the situation is far from being that straightforward. Because let's face it, Ronaldo clearly won't just be lured by money. He topped the Forbes list of highest paid athletes for the third consecutive year, which he still needs. What he still needs at this point is results. And clearly he hasn't had them with Al Nassr. His stint in Saudi Arabia has been far from expectations, far from perfect. Since his arrival, Al Nassr has failed to win a major trophy. They've fallen short in the Saudi Pro League title race for 2 consecutive seasons. They've failed to make an impact in the AFC Champions League, and even the Saudi Kings Cup has remained out of Al Nassr's grasp. That's, of course, left Ronaldo frustrated. To make matters worse, a growing section of Al Nassr fans have turned against him, questioning Ronaldo's place at the club. All of this has now opened up multiple possibilities for the Portuguese legend. New reports suggest Ronaldo has received a major offer from a Brazilian club, with the added incentive of playing at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Brazil has 4 teams that's confirmed for the tournament. Fluminense, Flamengo, Palmeiras and the 2024 league champions, Botafogo. And it was Botafogo's coach who was asked about the potential of Ronaldo joining. This was his response.
Christmas is only in December. But if he came, you can't say no to a star like that. Coaches always want the best. Ronaldo, even at his age, is still a goal-scoring machine. In a team that creates chance after chance, he would thrive.
And Brazil isn't the only destination doing the rounds. There have been whispers of Ronaldo returning to the Premier League with Chelsea as a potential short-term option. Let's not forget, Chelsea's new ownership was keen on roping him in back in 2022. With reports of Ronaldo's unrest in Saudi Arabia hotting up again, a move feels more probable now than ever before. Because even at 40, Cristiano Ronaldo's hunger for silverware is unmatched. He may not have achieved that in Saudi Arabia, but his ambition to compete and win never diminished. He's conquered England, Portugal, Spain and Italy. He helped popularize football in Saudi Arabia, and now the only football-mad region he hasn't played in, South America, Brazil. The spiritual home of the sport, the land of legends. How fitting a stage for a grand move for him. And Ronaldo's desire to win a FIFA trophy is no secret. The new-look FIFA Club World Cup is a major title on offer. And Ronaldo, the ultimate competitor, surely wouldn't want to miss out on this. Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, Manchester again, and Riyadh. Maybe it's time to add another destination to that long list, because as the legendary Peter Drury once said, Cristiano Ronaldo a phenomenon, a force of nature, and clearly the force hasn't faded quite yet. Will we see Ronaldo in Brazil, or will he return to Europe for one last glorious run? Time Time for last serve. Manchester United and Tottenham had a forgetful season so far, but their fans are hopeful of a silver lining at the Europa League final. Supporters of both the sides are gearing up for the mega face-off. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll, of course, catch you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.
At Firstpost, we are choosing to hold on to accuracy. That means we won't always be first. We may not get you your breaking alert. But what you will get is what we owe you. And that is the truth. Verified, checked, and cross-checked. We rely on sources and verified ones. After all, that's what separates a journalist from a loudspeaker. But sometimes even we miss a beat. And when we do, we will tell you. Like yesterday, we ran visuals from a registered news agency. That visual turned out to be fake. So we are taking accountability. And from now on, we will cite the source of every visual. Every picture, every video that you see on Firstpost will have a source mentioned. That is our commitment to you. We will wait, we will verify, we will ask again, and only then will we tell you. No noise, no panic, just the facts. Because right now, that is what the country needs most.